Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we are going to be putting away Christmas because it's January and it's time. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, we sometimes would have our Christmas tree still up in I don't know, February or March even. Um, which is, I think, why as an adult I didn't ever really get into decorating the whole house for Christmas. I've only seen it as work. Like I've only seen Christmas decor or seasonal holiday decor as something that you have to put away. And so it's never really been that appealing to me in my home. I am somebody who definitely appreciates a beautifully decorated home or a beautifully decorated space in general. But when it comes to my own home, I think part of the reason why I just don't do it is because I don't want to have to put it away. Um, and I saw, kind of how that felt when I was growing up as a kid, right? Where it's like, okay, we go and get the Christmas tree and it's a tradition, and then we decorate the Christmas tree, and my dad has all of these incredible ornaments that he has curated over the years, and they're all amazingly beautiful and special, and I liked seeing them every year when I was a kid, right? Seeing the same ornaments come out year after year, and then seeing new ones. It was all really cool, and I loved it. But it was eventually, by February or March, it started to get embarrassing that the Christmas tree is still in the living room. Um, so, yeah, so I don't know. And then I guess the other reason I don't really like to decorate very much is I think I'm afraid of not being good at it. Again, because again, I think Amelia found the camera. Sorry, we just, yeah, took a little peek into the kitchen there. Yep, there she is. But yeah, I think decorating for me, it just feels overwhelming. It feels like something I might not be great at. It seems like one of those things where I might have a vision for decorating, and if I can't do it the way that I envision it, then I just kind of don't want to do it. And so it's more of a skill issue, I think. And then there's also just laziness. It's just not a major priority to me. I know there's lots of people where having a beautifully decorated home is a huge priority, and something that people take a lot of pride in. But for me, it's one of those things where if it was done for me, I would really, really appreciate it. But if I'm the one who has to generate it, then it's probably not going to happen. I feel like I'm barely keeping it together just with cleaning and keeping things tidy. So I don't know. Maybe once I achieve my minimalist dreams, maybe I'll get into decorating. I don't know. I went to somebody's house the other day for a crafting afternoon, just to get together with some ladies. And her house was, I mean, I'm sure she cleaned it before we came over because she was hosting. But, oh, yeah, my daughter had put a bunch of barley all over. I gave her some to keep her occupied one day, and then it just got everywhere. So I had to clean it out of every nook and cranny of that play kitchen. But anyway, the minimalist house. So I went to this lady's house, and it was so peaceful and calm and relaxing. And it was, I mean, there wasn't a lot of decoration. There wasn't a lot of anything really. It was just some nicely chosen furniture, just simple, light brown leather furniture, a solid coffee table, um, and and then just a really simple farmhouse kitchen table or dining room table and some chairs. there wasn't a lot of decor, and it was very clear and uncluttered, and there just wasn't anything extra anywhere. Um, and it was very inspiring. Like when I came home, it made me want to made me want to just get rid of everything. Honestly, it made me want to just like toss everything out. But she also, that lady does not have toddlers. Like her kids are all in, I think, like fifth grade and seventh grade. So, you know, it's different life stages. But I guess, I don't know. Is that an excuse? Guys, does that sound like an excuse? Maybe it's an excuse. Yeah, I think actually, upon further reflection, maybe that is an excuse. um, Also, by the way, if you're noticing a different breathiness to my voice now, I am outside taking a walk while I'm recording this voiceover now. Because you know what? I got a new microphone and the sound quality is good. So I figured, let's try and kill two birds with one stone here. Let's see if I can multitask. Because honestly, I do not have enough hours in the day. Well, let me take that back. I do not have enough hours in the day when I'm alone, right? Do you guys have that problem? If you are past the stage where you have little kids, maybe this is no longer really relatable, but if you can harken back, oh, there goes a car. Maybe this wasn't the greatest idea. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. If it's horrible, I guess I can delete it, but probably not, because when else am I going to have time? So this is it. If you love me, stick around. If you're annoyed, it was nice knowing you. But yeah, harken back to the days, right? When trying to accomplish anything was absolutely impossible, because there's always a tiny human or multiple tiny humans trying to get your attention and get their needs met, right? That's just my life right now, and that's okay, right? That's their job. That's what little kids are supposed to do, is try to get your attention, and you're supposed to give it to them, right? Ostensibly. But I think for me, my struggle right now is that I just feel this really strong pull to have time for myself, to get back to myself. And I think you guys have seen that over the last year if you've been watching. If you've been following along, you've seen that for me. And my focus has really been at home and on home things. And then now that my business is really starting to take off more, and I'm booking more clients, and I have less and less time just for myself while Amelia's at the babysitter's, yeah, I'm just feeling a lot of scarcity of time. And so here I am doing something like this and experimenting and seeing, like, can I do a voiceover while I'm taking a walk? I suppose it's safer than trying to do it while I'm driving. So yeah, here we are, trying for self-care, trying for maximum efficiency while not sacrificing too much quality, right? So let's take a walk together, shall we? What are we doing here? So before I could take down all of the Christmas decorations, you can see, obviously I had to clean up and put things away. And as I was trying to do that, Amelia wanted to take more things out and play with them, which I guess brings me back to this minimalism idea that I was talking about a few minutes ago before I started taking the walk. I think I'm feeling more and more drawn to minimalism. You know, I've flirted with the idea of minimalism. I have discussed minimalism. But up until now, I still felt a very strong urge to keep things. I still have felt a very strong attachment to things. But now it's like, especially after going to that lady's house and just seeing what it felt like to be in a space where there's not a lot of stuff. Like there was just no stuff. There was no personal stuff. It was just furniture, like functional furniture, right? And it felt amazing. It felt amazing. She had like one macrame thing on the wall. Like that was it. And maybe, wow, that was a really loud car. And then maybe like a couple of plants, right? But everything else was just clear. And I know I was saying like, oh, well, she doesn't have toddlers. But like, honestly, Amelia doesn't play with that many things very often. She'll play with a couple of things for a little while. She has a few toys that she actually really, really likes. But everything else is kind of like just there, right? Just taking up space and creating visual clutter. And I think the same thing is true for me, right? I find something that I like to, like for clothes, for example, I find something that I like to wear. I find a style of something that I like to wear. And then I will just buy it in a couple of different colors. And then that's all I'm going to wear. Like forever. That's all I wear. In the summer, I have a uniform that's kind of like these tunic dresses, tunic tops that I wear with leggings or shorts underneath. And that's it. And then now this winter, I discovered that I like hoodies, like pullover hoodies. They're very cozy. And so I have a couple of different hoodies and sweatshirts, and I just wear those with my leggings, and that's it. And I'm not like super bothered about it. I don't worry about it. I don't worry about what I'm going to wear. I don't worry about what people are going to think. Obviously for when I see clients, I try to put on like a nicer top, but for the most part, like weekends or days when I'm just hanging out, I just throw on a hoodie and some leggings, and that's it. And so I'm realizing like I don't need all of the extra stuff, all of the extra clothes, all of the extra items. And the thing with the clothes is that they're in a closet, right? So they're not causing a lot of visual clutter right now. But when I think about things like Amelia's toys, or I think about things like all of my work stuff and my paperwork and the mail that we never fully deal with, that's all stuff that's causing a lot of visual clutter. And I'm not quite sure what my attachment is to it. I think the resistance is mostly that I don't want to deal with it. Like if someone else, kind of like with the decorating, right? If someone else were to come in with a magic wand and just have it be gone, I would not miss it. I wouldn't miss it at all. But I think it's the act of dealing with it, right? The act of being faced with it is what really is the challenge. I think, as a counselor, what I often tell my clients when they're trying to accomplish a big goal or something that seems very overwhelming to them, what I will almost always recommend is that they try and chunk it down into bite-sized pieces. And so I'm wondering for myself, just as I'm talking to you now, what it would be like if I could just kind of chunk it down, right? Like, okay, maybe I can address all of my paperwork clutter on one occasion, right? On one day. Just sit down, go through it, and just be done with it. Just be done with it. And of course, more paper will come in, right? More mail will come in. But I do think that my husband and I are a lot better now at going through mail on an ongoing basis. So the mail and the paperwork that we're struggling with is stuff that's been there for a long time. So yeah, maybe one day I just pick that and do it. And I should put it on my calendar. That's what I always tell my clients too. Like, if you have an intention to do something, you need to put it on your calendar. Oh, what are we looking at? Oh, yes, we have very few ornaments. You know how I was talking about my dad's ornaments earlier? We have very few Christmas ornaments in our house that are meaningful. Oh, and Ed is helping roll up the carpet because he doesn't want to get the pine needles all over the carpet. Thank you, Ed. But yeah, we only have a few ornaments that are very near and dear to us because we just don't have a lot of breakable ornaments right now because of children and dogs. And, you know, maybe one day I'll inherit all of the beautiful ornaments and that'll be lovely. But again, for this stage of life, we don't need more ornaments. We have all these like very plain plastic red balls and gold balls, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. And then as the kids make things over the years, you know, we have a couple from Amari that he's made, then we have some from Amelia, and that's fine. But I don't think we need to spend a bunch of money on new ornaments and new decor right now. We have other priorities. Yes. But where was I going? Oh yes, minimalism. Sorry. Thank you for sticking with me on this very distractible journey into minimalism. So yes, I think I'm going to pick one small thing to declutter, maybe once a week. Maybe I'll do a video series. There you go. I liked my friend Jerry Heggie, I don't know. You know her. She's more popular than I am now. So, but anyway, I'll link her in the description if you want to check her out. But she did a great series in the winter. Well, it's still winter, but in December, she did a great series where she intentionally decluttered. Her goal was to declutter 1,000 items, and she ended up decluttering way more than that. But I liked her approach where she like went through different rooms and she had different categories of things that she was decluttering on purpose. So I think that's a good guideline for me. Like, I'm just gonna pick some things to declutter one at a time, once a week, and get back on track with that. Because as we all know, if I still have all of this stuff, I'm still going to be endlessly cleaning it up and putting it away over and over and over. And the less of that stuff that we actually own, the less clutter there shall be. Now, I'm still, like, toys seem like such an easy thing to think about when it comes to decluttering. A, because that's what we have a lot of right now, and B, because Amelia is still so young that I could really do it without including her. Like, obviously, I will not get rid of her most important things or her most cherished items, but she's still very much at the phase of life where, like, if she doesn't see it, she doesn't think about it. But if she sees it again, she immediately must have it, which is why it's important for when we do declutter to get things out as quickly as possible. Because as soon as she sees it again, she wants to play with it. But yeah, so toys seem like an easy thing to start with. But where I get stuck, and maybe some of you all might have ideas, but where I tend to get stuck a lot of the time is with the kitchen. Partly because that kitchen table does a lot of heavy lifting, like in terms of function. We use the dining room table. We are a family that eats at the dining room table for all of our meals, which is amazing to me. That was not my culture growing up. or when I was a single person. Like, I'm somebody who was very used to just like grabbing a bowl of cereal and eating on the couch, right? Like sitting on the sofa in front of the TV, and that's how I would eat. But when I met Ed, his family culture was everybody sits at the table, which is great. I think that's important. And so we do that as a family. We eat at the table. We eat dinner together. Amelia eats her breakfast at the table. If I'm home and I'm eating lunch, I'll eat lunch at the table. So the table definitely serves that purpose. But we also, like, that's where we do other stuff. Like, that's where I will type my notes for work if I'm behind on notes, which I am right now. That's also where, Amari will come and put his homework and do his homework stuff when he needs to do homework. And that's where, when we have packages, like, we will come upstairs and that's where the packages land, or that's where the mail will land, or that's where we'll put the groceries down when we bring them in originally from outside. So the table is a magnet for things. And I guess I'm just not quite sure, like, if any amount of decluttering is going to fix that. Like, I don't know that decluttering is the solution to the kitchen table problem, if that makes sense. So, yes, like, I understand on a logical level that myself, mostly me, but also the family, like, we would need to change our behavior around how we treat the table. But I feel like even after a full year of consciously and intentionally cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the dining area, trying to declutter, even after this whole year, I have still not gotten a grasp on it. And I don't know what the deficit is. I don't know what the issue is. I mean, obviously me, right? The core of it is me. That's the issue. But I don't know what about me is the problem. Like, I've tried to make rules, just like with my bedroom dresser. I've tried to make rules for myself. Like, you can't put anything down there. Like, don't put it down, put it away. I've tried all the cutesy little stuff. I guess, and I've tried, like, I've had periods of time where I've done like a 10-minute tidy in the evening to clean everything off at night. So at least we're starting fresh every day and we're not like letting the clutter go for days at a time. But for whatever reason, and if anyone wants to take a stab at doing a little psychoanalysis of me, go for it. But, well, I should be careful saying that because I might get offended, but that's okay. Anyway, I put it out there. Go for it. I will try not to be offended. I can't figure out what I'm going to be willing to do long term, right? To keep that problem at bay. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the problem is or how I'm going to fix it, but that is my biggest area of concern. And then, yeah, in our bedroom, honestly, like 90% of what is in our two dressers is stuff we don't use most of the time, or that we only use seasonally. So all of that stuff could go elsewhere or go away. And then the basement, again, like a lot of it is stuff that we only use seasonally. Or I have like a box of pants that don't quite fit me yet, but they will fit me, if I lose another 9 pounds maybe. But then again, a lot of that stuff down there is garbage. It's just garbage that needs to get gone, right? Or we have a whole box of like picture frames that we got a long time ago. We got them a year and a half ago to put our family photos in, like family portraits that we had done. And it's been a year and a half. And we haven't put the photos in the frames. We haven't put the frames on the wall. And at this point, it just feels like, it feels silly to put them up. I don't know. Guys, I don't know. Someone give me ideas for how to decorate the living room. Because I feel like it's just a lost cause at this point. So anyway, now I'm just rambling, but as you can see, we cleaned up our Christmas stuff. Ed tried to put away the little mini Christmas tree, but Amelia saw him and she gave him a very stern look and said, "You cannot put that away." But to be fair to her, we've had it up since like October. So it probably doesn't feel seasonal to her. It probably just feels like part of the landscape at this point. So I'll have to put that away when she's not home. And yeah, I don't know. I think I like my goal. Of decluttering something every week from now on. I think I also like my goal of, I don't think I said it in this video. I think I said it in a different one recently, either that I just recorded or that I'm about to put out. But I am going to keep this channel as a cleaning and decluttering channel. I know I had some ideas at the end of last year around what I wanted to do with this channel and maybe go in a different direction. I filmed a couple of episodes in my office, wanting to explore, maybe a different style here. But I had a nice chat with my friend Beth, and she encouraged me to, if I need this channel to keep me motivated to keep cleaning, which I think I do need this channel to keep me motivated, because otherwise I won't do it, then to just do that. And then if I want to get creative or talk about other topics that are maybe a little more controversial or a little more niche in another direction, then I should do that on a different channel. And I think I will. So thank you. I think that's all I have for now. I will show you the finished product here in just a second. You will get to see the beautiful un-Christmased living room, the cleaned up living room. And thank you so much for coming along as I put Christmas away for the year. So thanks for watching. I love you. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.